President Biden delivered his second campaign speech of the year today at the Mother Emanuel AME Church in South Carolina. As Laura Barone Lopez explains, the president continues to warn about extremist threats to the nation's democracy.
Speaking at the site where 9 black churchgoers were murdered in Charleston in 2015, President Biden warned that the same hate that motivated their killer still threatens the country.
The word of God was pierced by bullets and hate, of rage, propelled by not just gunpowder, but by a poison that has for too long haunted this nation. What is that poison? White supremacy. Oh, it is. It's a poison.
J.A. Moore's sister, Myra Thompson, was one of the 9 killed at the Mother Emanuel shooting. Moore is a Democratic state representative in South Carolina and joins me now. Representative Moore, thank you for being here. You were at the president's speech today as he remembered those killed by the white supremacists nearly 9 years ago, including your sister. What did you think of his remarks?
I first was deeply moved by the fact that the president thought it was so important as they kick off President Biden and Vice President Harris kicks off the election to come here. I mean, I thought the overall message was resolute. It was sobering, and I was appreciative that he came.
What has your experience been like when you go to church now, all these years since your sister was killed?
It's difficult, to be honest with you. I still pray with my eyes open. It's a place where so many of us find as our sanctuary. For me, it's a constant reminder of what evil looks like, what it feels like, and the residual effects of white supremacy and domestic terrorism.
And you don't go to AME often, correct? You worship at a different church, but what is it like when you visit AME now?
Yeah, it's the unfortunate reality is that I oftentimes end up at Mother Emanuel in a direct concert with talking about or commemorating that devastating, fateful night. It's difficult for me every time I step into that church, and it's something that over the past almost 9 years I've struggled with. I mean, I would love to turn back the hands of time to before that terrible night and be able to find sanctuary in such a historic place that's meant so much to so many people. But it's very difficult for me. Today was a very, very challenging, difficult day for me to sit in that pew thinking about my sister and the 8 other parishioners.
Since the Charleston shooting, mass shooters who killed people in Pittsburgh, El Paso, and Buffalo were all motivated by racism or anti-Semitism. Do you think that white supremacist violence has gotten worse in the years since the Charleston shooting?
Well, it's gotten worse since Donald Trump was president. Donald Trump has given a hall pass for white supremacy. Not that I'm saying that the former president himself is a white supremacist, but what he has done is stoke that suppressed feelings and emotions out of so many Americans that are these MAGA Republicans. So not just the aftermath of the shooting, but the maturation of Donald Trump going down those escalators. You know, we've just seen increase in the white supremacy in the forefront, more so than before.
And do you think that enough has been done locally or federally to address this type of violence?
South Carolina is one of 2 states that still doesn't have a hate crime bill as their law. Even after something so tragic happened to my sister and those 8 other parishioners, one of whom, Senator Pinckney, was the pastor of the church and a sitting senator at the time, and still we haven't been able to do that. No, I mean, I think there's a lot more that needs to be done when it comes to combating racism and so on and so forth. And we need to do a lot more. So no, I think there's a lot more to be done. But I'm going to say this to make sure I'm clear. That's not because of the Biden administration has not tried. They've done a wonderful job of pushing forward individuals and policies to change that. But you're talking about almost 400 years of discrimination, a country that was the bedrock of the country was designed and with a racist background. So no, 3 years or 4 years isn't going to change it alone. There's a lot more work that needs to be done.
President Biden warned today of the increase in far-right violence and an attempt to erase history, be it the history of January 6th or of slavery. How much faith do you have that America can have an honest conversation about the same white supremacist violence that took your sister and that has killed other people since?
One of the things that has inspired me over the past almost 9 years is people's willingness to have these conversations about race, whereas before people didn't feel like they had permission. But as you can imagine, I have conversations with strangers, with family members, with colleagues, with so many people now about people that may have had determined feelings about people because of their race that they didn't even know before, but they're willing to explore now in the aftermath of this tragedy, and that is in the forefront. So yeah, I mean, I think that for sure that is happening. But what I'm most worried about is that what we haven't seen is in a white supremacy in itself. One thing to talk about it, it's another thing to change it. And I think we have a long, long way to go to do that.
Representative J.A. Moore of South Carolina, thank you for your time.
Thank you for covering this story. Thank you.